Hey everybody, welcome back to another 10-minute Marvel video. I'm Petter, and today we're doing something a little bit different than normal. Though, not that different for me than normal, because this is part of a hobby and thing that I love here. Should have grabbed some of this and brought it up ahead of time. But what I want to show off, and I don't want to give it away too much, is, like I said, one of my other hobbies, and that is the one directly behind me, board gaming, and a Marvel board game. This is the third big box thing for it. Marvel United. Marvel United is going to be a cooperative game where players take on the role of heroes facing off against a villain, trying to rescue enough bystanders, complete enough other things to be able to then deal with the main villain. And what I have with me today, well, it's so much stuff. It's so much stuff because we also have this box, and this isn't all of it. Like, you probably saw me pulling a few things out to the table, and that's not even all of it. But why do I want to show it off today? I'm not going to show everything off today, but I do want to talk maybe just a touch more about this game and then show you why I want to show it off. This is like I said, a cooperative game. You are playing out cards, and your cards will have some pretty simple, basic actions to them. You can move, you can punch, and you can do a heroic action. The heroic action is going to be stuff like rescue bystanders, or well, that's kind of the main one, but there are other like villain specific things where it might be thwarting some of the villain's scheme. The punch is fairly simple. You punch henchmen of a villain, and then you also punch just kind of the generic thugs that are part of the game. And you need to take care of one of like three things before you can start to go after, or two of three things before you can start to go after the main bad guy. And you get to pick who you really want for that main bad guy. But what I love about this game so much is how it feels like superhero teamwork. So let's say I play down a card that has 2 movement on it. I move, as like the first thing we do in the game, I move 2 spaces. That's my turn. Not that exciting. But then it's your turn. And you play down a card that has a punch and a heroic action. Okay, that's pretty solid. But then you don't really want to do it where you're at. You don't have any movement. Except you get to use the symbols from my card. You get to always use the symbols from the card before yours to be able to move, do heroic actions, punch, whatever might be on that card. And I really enjoy that teamwork because it leads to conversations of, hey, I want to do this on my turn, or hey, I don't have a great card to do anything right now, but I can maybe set you up if you need this or another thing. But now let me show off why I wanted to show off this game. And I do plan on doing probably a series of videos on this because of what's in the box. I have a nice little knife here. Keep one in my game room at all times. Huh. Weird. Sorry. I'm making a judgment of the box. that didn't work super well. Got rid of my plastic. Has a little sheet on the back. This is the back of the box where you can see over here the game, and over here why I want to just show it off. Maybe. It's a snug fitting board game box. So what comes in the box? We have the rule book. It is 16 pages long. A bunch of examples and pictures and demonstrating what the symbols are, as well as what you get in the box. Some of what you get in the box are a couple sheets of punchboard. These tokens are going to be the ones that you use for fighting the villains. But what's the great fun is fighting those villains. And the box comes with 3 that you can fight as villains here. To make sure I get everybody right, we have God Emperor Doom. And then we have Immortus, the King variant. And we have Maestro here. So the old Hulk who's kind of gone crazy. And this one actually can be played as a hero or as a villain you're up against, where we have Cosmic Ghost Rider. The nice thing is it's easy to get all of those guys to the table, but they're not the only ones in here. Sorry, I need to flip something over here. We also have our heroes. Obviously, Cosmic Ghost Rider can be a hero as well, but here we have Captain Carter. We have Loki as a hero. There was, in a previous version of this, there was Loki as a villain. We have Mighty Thor. So this is from the Jason Aaron run, where Jane Foster becomes Thor. We have over here, ooh, who is this one? Spider-Man 2099. Back him up a little bit. And then we have Shuri Black Panther. I love how dynamic the poses can be. And finally, we have Ironheart. But, well, that is a bunch. And I pack this up real quickly. That's not all. And one thing I haven't mentioned yet about the game is, alright, I've been saving it for a reason. Is kind of how the game plays. Obviously, well, I explained how the game works, but with the game itself, there's one other fun element to it. This is a 1 to 4 player game. And at 4 players, Obviously, you use a good chunk of the heroes, but you're not using all of them. So you can mix and match. You decide who you want to play as, and the game is actually really good in terms of being able to say, I want to grab this hero. I want to grab Ironheart or Captain Carter. And for me to play as that character just involves me grabbing one mini and one small deck of cards that never get shuffled in with the other characters. Every character has a unique deck of cards, which means that you can play with any of the characters very simply. Which is where this next box comes in. Because this next box, it has some rules. It has another location. It has some more tokens. It has a special board for the Wrecking Crew. All of those are like, okay, kind of interesting. But then I have this huge stack, which has 3 trays in it. All full of minis. So let's start out with some of the villains here. We're going to start out with Maximus, who is an Inhuman. Then we have a Crossbones. All the villains always red. Wrecking Crew team here. So we have Thunderball. And Pile Driver. Then this is Wrecker. And finally, Bulldozer. We have Ulysses Claw. Shocker. You might be like, these are a lot of secondary villains. They are, because like I said, this is the 3rd set. Here we have Chameleon peeling his mask off. We have the High Evolutionary. Ooh, who is this one? Iron Patriot. Mole Man. Stop that, you Fantastic Four. We have the Purple Man. And then, who is this? Next one here is Enchantress. And I'll probably go through, and I want to go through and eventually paint them all. We have Lizard. But just look at that. Just springing in the air. Like the actual feet aren't touching the ground. The whole thing is supported on the tail to give that dynamic pose. Now I figure out how he fits in again. We have, is this Hobgoblin? Yes. Green Goblin was previously there, so we have a Hobgoblin. We have the Crimson Dynamo. Who is this one? Oh, yep, makes sense. Absorbing Man. and Titania. We have the God of the Symbiotes, Null. Just such amazing figures. We have Gore the God Butcher with holding the Necro Sword. Who is this one? Oh, Blastar or Blastar, and Abomination. Even got the right ears on him. You gotta see those. And then we start to get into a hero here. We have a dear old Agent Venom with all his weapons. That's just the first layer. Layer number 2, we have some anti-heroes, and yeah, just a ton of fun characters. So we have the Red Guardian. Here's the shield. The White Widow. Tilt her back that way a little bit. Ursa Major. So you can see they kind of went with some themes here. Dark Star. Characters who are kind of heroes. Kind of not. Moonstone. Not all the poses are quite as dynamic as others. Harrison Ford. Red Hulk. U.S. Agent John Walker. Wild Child. Or Dark Child, I should say. Dark Child, also known as Magic. And Daken. So that gets us through those kind of anti-heroes, but there are still more heroes. So we have Megan. Who's this one? Chamber. And you can see they give you some things, like some translucent bits on some of them. This is just M. And Husk, because somebody tearing off their own skin is creepy. Cypher. And this should be Betsy Braddock, Captain Britain. Has a shield, sword, dynamic jumping pose. Aurora. So some of these are harder to tell. Captain America. Sam Wilson, Captain America. Over here we have Deathlock. And probably the coolest one here, we have Songbird. Just look at that purple on there. Gorgeous looking. But that's not it. Like I said, there are 3 layers, and there's some real funky stuff on the bottom layer in a really great way. And we're actually gonna go here and open up a little box, because this guy actually fits in to the main box. One of the backer levels you could get this character as an extra one. Ooh, almost got it. Maybe. I cut this open. Why do my hands not work today? I don't know. It's very frustrating, though. Very, very frustrating. Here we have it. We have Iron Lad. So this one, like I said, this one was Kickstarter exclusive, but there's room for it in the box. You have your Iron Lad cards, and then, of course, tape down the figure of Iron Lad. Are you going to see some champions or young Avengers here? Wiccan. Up next, followed by Speed. Gotta go fast. Then Patriot. Didn't we have a... We had Iron Patriot. So this is just Patriot. Kid Loki. So yeah, we're getting a lot of the Young Avengers there. We have the Dark Knight, Dan Whitman. Black Knight, I should say. We have Siren. Even like on the back of it, they do such a good job with the detail, because you're going to see every side. Then we have Werewolf by Night, good old Jack Russell. Wong, because Wong is important to everything. We have Elsa Bloodstone. This looks a bit like the Saturday morning cartoon cover on the comics. We have Johnny Blaze, Ghost Rider, with his flaming bike. We have Man-Thing, Ted. And then Cyborg Spider-Man. Spider-Man characters always get very cool poses, I will say that. Next up, we have Corsair. Has his classic weaponry. And some more from there. Hepzibah. And Raza. And then we have Chew. Lilandra. And X Factor Havoc. Or Havoc. And I saved a couple of them for last because we have Stature. Stature is slightly bigger in stature. And while that's a cool mini, I love the house building for scale. This one may be my favorite, though, from this box. Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. Again, not that many a miniature. So, I'm going to pack these up, and I do have a couple last things to show off here. But I want to get this out of my way so I have enough room to do that. And I'm going to do additional videos on this, because while I'm showing you all of this stuff, this is not all that I got. Yes, I do in fact have more. Because there were plenty of boxes. It's going to be noisy. Plenty of boxes of expansions and other teams that you can get. And I got them. I got them all. So while we have this, I'll pack that all up. Then I'm going to talk about the other things off to the side here. So one of the things that it added was these team decks. Team decks are basically going to be like, hey, you can put together this team. Generally, they're ones that come in certain boxes. And so you can have some like different team up cards. And then this is the Kickstarter set for them. Let's see, Excalibur, Illuminati, X-Force, and Defenders. That one, I forgot. This one has X-Men, Avengers, Spidey Army, and Guardians of the Galaxy. It also comes with, one of the things you could get was campaign decks. This allows you to play through some different kind of story type things. Age of Ultron, for example, or Avengers versus X-Men, or War of Kings, I believe, stuff like that, where you can kind of chain a few things together, because normally these are just like one-off things. I'm not going to open up those, but I'm going to open up the other two boxes I have here. Like I said, I'll do maybe one other video on the rest of the stuff, the big box expansions. But there are two last little expansions that are worth showing off. These are not your typical characters you play with. Companions, I believe, well, it's companions. I believe they're added on that you can use if you so want. So, for example, we have Red Wing. We have our friendly Flurkin ready to pounce. Goose. We have Loki Gator. Because why not? Then we have over here Cosmo. We have Throg, Thor Frog. So like these guys are even more mini. And the final one we have, I saved it for the last because it's a fun one. Yes, this is Jeff the Land Shark. And the MCU won't be complete until they do a Jeff the Land Shark on the big screen for me. Alright, prepare for noise again. Oof. Sounded so unfortunate. And then the final one here, one last miniature. They say sometimes it's better to let sleeping dragons lie. But now they can't do it. Because what we have here to face off against is no little dragon. Fact, it's treated as a toy, like it's actually got a twist tie holding it in place, so it didn't move around in transit. Let me verify I was putting these in the right spot. We have Fin Fang Foom. Wings coming attached separately because this guy is one big, brawny, weird looking dude. But there we have it. We have kind of the core box, the Kickstarter miniatures expansion, and like I said, I'm going to do another video coming up here very soon on the expansion boxes. In fact, I'll probably record it the same day that I'm recording this one, but it will come out on a future day. Let me know which one of these miniatures was your favorite. I'm not sure that it's this one, but this one is absolutely ridiculous to look at. So leave that down in the comment section below. And if you enjoyed this content, please give the video a thumbs up. Try and put a new video out every week or every weekday. And there's a tiny bit more in that box, just some rules and Fing Fang Foom's a special sheet. But those videos are going to be from Marvel Comics, the comic books that are coming into my collection, to Marvel trading cards, to videos like this around Marvel different games Marvel has coming out, including Marvel Snap that I try and do a video weekly on, and then news and rumors. But if you want to get into those news and rumors in greater depth, oftentimes than I cover them here on YouTube, you can check out the podcast 10 Minute Marvel. You can find that actually here on YouTube as well. Click onto the channel, subscribe if you haven't already. We really do appreciate everybody who has subscribed and everybody who's watching these videos. And then click on the podcast tab, or you can find it wherever you get your friendly neighborhood podcasts from. But with that, we'll see you next time.